Testing. Okay. All right, you guys. Happy you're on tonight. My name is Beth-Anna Phillips, and I am a Blue Diamond with doTERRA. Just putting it out there in case some of you are watching the recording that don't know me yet. We're going to go over doTERRA's business opportunity tonight, and this is something that I'm so excited to share with people. I know in the beginning we are so thrilled when people try the oils because we know how much it can help them. Well, we're at the point where we feel the exact same way about the business. We're so thrilled when people try the business because we know what it can do for them, because of what it's done for us and because of what it's done for others that we know. So what we're going to cover tonight is why you might consider doing doTERRA as a business, what that looks like, what kind of people are doing doTERRA as a business, what is network marketing, all those kind of things, so that you can make an informed decision before you decide to do this and really know what you're getting into and what the opportunities are and what it looks like. So that's what we're going to get into. I'm going to get my PowerPoint up. All right, do you guys see that? Yes, okay, cool. So we're gonna cover the doTERRA business opportunity. So when we started this, my goal was really to create a life that we didn't need a vacation from. And I think that is something that a lot of people can identify with. That was something that just came to mind probably about a year and a half to 2 years into doing this, when we started really realizing what this could do and that people were having success in this and that they were able to turn this into what they wanted it to be, whether that was they cut back at their job they were doing because they loved their job, or if they didn't like their job so much, they were able to walk away from it and do something that they were passionate about. And then we started looking at things like, okay, why do we live a life where we only look forward to those couple weeks a year where we get to escape from what we do every single day? What if we could change that to where we love what we do every single day, and then vacations are just a bonus on top of that? And that might kind of seem too good to be true, but I'm here to tell you that it's not. It's definitely something that you can work towards, and I say work because it is work. All good things take work, but what a goal to have. To even think that that's a possibility starts getting really exciting, and that's where we're going to show you tonight how doTERRA fits into that and why it's such a good option. So the agenda for today, we're going to talk about who is doing doTERRA as a business, why partner with doTERRA specifically. You know, there's a lot of options out there, and what it takes to do this business. Also, the basics of the compensation plan. We're not going to dive deep into the compensation plan. That's another video and another talk for a different time, but this is just a basic overview to give you an idea. And then how to start, what the next steps are, and what the training opportunities are that are available to you. So who's doing this business? That's the first question. And this list that's here now is going to continue to change, and it's going to continue to grow. But these are some people that we're seeing that are involved with doTERRA right now. Some are students or stay-at-home moms are a huge force in doTERRA. They are, you know, sometimes looking for something to do outside of the home. They're looking for a way to bring in extra money for their family without having to get a job that takes them away from their kids Monday through Friday. Also, stay-at-home dads. This is the area that is going to be growing a ton in the next few years because this is a proven business model now. And so we are having everybody come on board that is saying this is healthcare. This is not a hobby. This is not a little woman's thing. This is a business that is healthcare, a $1 trillion industry, and we're getting a piece of that. And doTERRA is just growing exponentially into phases we're not even going to get to cover tonight, but that is making a global impact in healthcare. Bloggers and Instagrammers love doTERRA. It's really easy for them to incorporate doTERRA into what they're doing online. And basically, doTERRA is really easy to incorporate into every business model. I think that is something that is so unique about this. I don't think up until this point, I'm trying to rack my brain, of anybody that I've talked to that even owns their own business already that could not add doTERRA to what they're doing. It just fits in with everything. Even real estate agents, estheticians, massage therapists, personal, like all these people can utilize this as an extra way to make money for work that they're doing already anyways. People like chiropractors, nutritionists, fitness instructors, yoga instructors, even people who are retired that maybe still kind of want something to do, or maybe they don't have the retirement that they thought they had. And we're going to kind of cover that in a minute, what that looks like today for most people. So really, it's very broad as to who's doing this as a business. So this is the dilemma that faces most people when they're getting ready to retire. And these statistics here were put together by David Ellis. He's a financial advisor, and he is a husband of somebody who is building doTERRA. And when his wife started making significant money, he started looking into her little hobby, which is what he thought it was, and going, okay, wait a minute, like your checks that are coming in, we're talking about this being residual income. This is a big deal. And we really need to, he wanted to start dissecting what that means. Hang on one. Oh my God. Okay. So when David Ellis's wife started bringing home more significant checks with doTERRA, his financial mind went to, okay, I really want to see how this plays into our retirement. I want to understand what residual income through network marketing really means. So as he was figuring out the different bonuses she was making and the money she was bringing home, he's like, this is really significant, and let me tell you why. And so he shared this information with us at Leadership a few years ago because this is his world. This is something he knows very well. And it was a way for us to understand, who maybe aren't in the position of where we're looking at retirement yet, that it is something that we need to think about. Or if you are very close to retirement, what does that really look like? So these are statistics from the US. The average income needed to retire in the US, if your house is paid for, is about $4,500 a month. That's what they have concluded, maybe not in Southern California where it's a little more expensive, but in average, the amount of money that it would need for somebody to retire and live on their own and be self-sufficient and be able to eat out and cover their bills is $4,500 a month. So where's that $4,500 a month going to come from for people to live off of, even ourselves? Like, years pass quicker than we expect, and the older you get, time flies faster and faster, and then you have kids, and then they're in school, and then you're paying for their stuff, and our plans on saving somehow kind of always get sidetracked. So a lot of us, I think, kind of have the idea that we'll have enough money that we will live off of the interest, and that's where our retirement's going to come from. So what does that look like? So in red there, you'll see what it looks like. If you had money saved in an account earning 5% interest, which nowadays is kind of unheard of, interest rates are so low, but say you could give 5%, it would take over $1 million that saved away that you weren't touching to generate that $4,500 a month that you need to live off of. And so working a 40-year career, that's a standard career time, that means you would have to save and invest $27,000 a year. And so that means putting aside $27,000 that you don't touch every single year of those 40 years, that will give you your $1 million that you need to live off of. But what the statistics show from banks is the average retirement that someone has saved at the age of 50, so you're talking like 30 years into their work life, is $42,000. So nowhere near putting away $27,000 a year. That's just not happening. So the average retirement savings that people have at the age of 50 is $42,000. So say you're 50 now, and you're watching this, and you're like, okay, I've got $42,000. What does that mean? That means in the next 15 years, so between the age of 50 and 65, you'd have to put away $69,000 a year that you didn't touch into this savings and investment account so that you could get to that $1 million to live off of. And so it's really interesting. I think a lot of us were really kind of mind blown looking at this because it's not something, again, we think about. We think that we'll get there, you know, after we pay for this, after we set money aside for this, after we get the kids set up with this, then we'll start saving. And the years go by and we don't get there. And then something happens and then somebody gets sick and then you're taking care of your parents and it's just things happen, life happens. So here's another statistic that he found is that 75% of people at the age of 50 have less than $5,000 in their bank account. So in like their checking account. So that's just where it's at. We kind of are a nation of spenders. We we spend a lot, almost as quick as we make it, clearly, and that's why 75% of people have less than $5,000 in their bank account. So what that means is that 98% of retired people have to depend on this recording together. All right. Okay, so where we were at, I think, when it cut out, is that, so what that means is 98% of retired people have to depend on friends and family or the government, and only 2% have a chance of being able to be financially independent. So we see this a lot, you know, as people get older, you know, they have to move in with their children, which is fine. But it's just, if that's not your goal and not what you're looking towards, then it's definitely something to be aware of, because you can see how much of the majority that is going to be their only option, like literally their only option. And so that's what we're looking here at doTERRA, is a vehicle that's going to open up more doors for you in so many ways. But the way that we're talking about right here is the fact that you can be financially independent and not have to rely on family, your children in the future to take care of you. You'll have your own income for that. So this is a module put together by Robert Kiyosaki. If you guys are familiar with him, he's big in the financial world. He wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he's good with money, and he likes to educate people on money and what that actually means. And so this graphic here, we're going to walk through. We're going to start in the upper left quadrant and then go down and then over to the right. So these are the typical options that we're looking at for work and ways to make money. On the upper left, you see having a job. What that means is that you make 100% of your efforts. So whatever time you're at work, when you're punching in and when you're punching out, you make an hourly wage or you make a salary, and that income is yours. You make 100% off of your efforts, but you don't have a lot of leverage. You've got people telling you when you can take lunch a lot of times. You've got them telling you when you can take vacation. And so you have a job, but you don't have very much freedom. So then people say, I want more freedom. I'm going to be self-employed. And so that's the lower quadrant. And that can cover like real estate agents, massage therapists, personal trainers, estheticians, chiropractors, anybody like that who owns their own job in that way. So you make more money. That's why a lot of people are drawn to it. You do set your own schedule, but you still don't have a lot of leverage, because if you don't show up to work, you're not making money. So if a massage therapist, they run their own business. They can schedule their work for when they want to. There is that freedom. But if they're not physically working on somebody, they're not making an income. Same thing with like an esthetician. It's nice. They can work around when their kids are in school or when they want to work. They can make good money. But same idea. If they're not at work, if they're sick, if their kids are sick and they're not able to go in that day, if they're on vacation, they're not making money during that time. So you don't have a lot of leverage. So then going over into the upper right and being a business owner. And that's what you are when you start a business with doTERRA. It's network marketing, but it is a business. And so now you're not just making money off of your efforts, you're actually making money off of the efforts of everybody who is partnered with you. So you are creating a system where you're actually making money from what you're doing and what the people that you brought in are doing as well. That's where you get more leverage. So even if you're not working every single day, you're still making money from the efforts of the other people below you who are working. And that will grow over time, and it will become a really significant income. And it does offer more flexibility, more time freedom, more leverage in when you take vacations, where you take vacations. Not to mention the write-offs that we have tax-wise are the biggest of anybody, because we can actually be working truly anywhere. So that is a huge asset for us as well. And then that lower right quadrant is for investing. And that's when you've made enough money through your business that you've got money that you can start investing, and then that money starts making income for you. Also, that's passive income as well. So both of those right-sided quadrants we can take a part of in doTERRA. We build the business, we're making money off of our efforts and those that partner with us, and then when you have enough money, you can turn that into, you know, getting rental properties that you're renting out, or in any other way that you want to start creating more money for yourself. So this picture here is really important because the marketplace is changing. I don't know if you guys have noticed the last time you were at the mall or driving around downtown, wherever it is that you live, there's a lot of retail stores going out of town or going out of business. That way of doing business is just, it's kind of dying. That's not the option people are utilizing anymore. And so as an industry, it's kind of shutting down. The picture on the lower left there, my mom just sent to me this week. They're down in Carlsbad, which is Southern California, for those of you guys who know. And Carlsbad's a pretty affluent place. And half of the upstairs of the mall, my mom was saying, there's no stores in it anymore. It's vacant. They've put up pretty like signage, so maybe you don't notice it as much when you're walking by. But the whole upstairs, like half of it's vacant. So that was kind of surprising. And I was looking up in 2019, Gymboree has declared bankruptcy. They're closing all 800 of their stores. Payless also declared bankruptcy, Payless Shoes, and they're going to be closing all of their stores. Charlotte Russe is going to be closing 416 of their stores, and Gap is closing 230 of their stores. So you can just see, and this is something that Eric Worre, if you guys are familiar with him, he's big in the network marketing world. He talked about this a number of years ago. And just the fact that this is the way the world is headed. And so we don't have control over that change, but we do have control over what we're doing and staying ahead of it for ourselves and for our family. And what people are gravitating towards is products that have a mission, products that places that they can spend their money where they're getting a really good product, but they're also contributing to a company that's doing some good in the world. That is something that's becoming really important to people, and that is something that we have with doTERRA, which is really cool. So when you're thinking about network marketing, you can ask, like, why? What are the pluses of going with true network marketing? One of them is there's a built-in business model. So as I was reading over this, it made me laugh. And those of you guys who are on the call who are currently with doTERRA, they take care of the product sourcing. They take care of order fulfillment. They take care of customer service. Can you imagine if we were all going out there trying to source frankincense, what that would look like? Or if we were trying to provide customer service to all of our customers, like that would be crazy. So that is the huge benefit of network marketing. That is such a plus. And that's something that Eric Worre talks about so passionately. Like, do you guys understand what you have? Like, we get to piggyback off of these giants that have put in all the work that doTERRA has done in sourcing the best quality oils from around the world. We benefit from. We're not out there creating those relationships and building the clinics and the water sources for these people and teaching them how to harvest the oils and testing the oils to make sure that they're pure. All of that's done for us. The other piece of network marketing that's so cool is there's a built-in education system that's going to teach you how to use the product, what it's like to run your own business, and how to be a leader. And that's what we do with each other. And for the most part, it's free. A lot of, there are additional courses you can take if that's something you want to do, but still the cost is very minimal when you look at the whole. Most of the stuff that we get is very low cost. Sometimes it's just the price of the materials or it's free. And the entry cost to actually starting this as a business is also extremely low. I don't know if you guys know the figure that they say it takes to start a traditional brick and mortar business, but it's about $80,000. So that's the average. Of course, it can be a little less and it can be a ton more, but the average to start your own business, if you were to open a store, is about $80,000. And our cost of entry could be the family essentials kit. So it could be $150 for somebody to get started. So it's a very low cost to get started running your own business. So what to look for in a company and a product. This is something that is, I think, so important, and it's definitely something to consider for any company that you're thinking about partnering with. Number one is it consumable? If you're working with something that's not consumable, I just think it's so much harder to build a business. There's only so many of a certain thing. I don't want to mention anything, but it's like there's only so much cookware you need. Like after you have enough pans, you're good. There's only so many earrings you need or pants you need, except for me, I love clothes. But you know what I mean? It's like there's only so many things that you need that you're not using up, and then you kind of get done. So is the product consumable? I think that is so important. And the next question, also hugely important, who's your target market? Who can use what you have? So if you're partnering with a product that's target base is women 20 to 50, I mean, that's cool, but it's not everybody. We know, because we use them, our target market is basically anybody who breathes. And that's huge. So children can use what we have, elderly people can use what we have, men and women, and even pets can use what we have. So that, I think, is a huge, huge bonus. And then other things to look for is who are the leaders of the company? That's going to be really important. Where's the company going? How much integrity is held by the people who are running it? What is their mission? And if I weren't selling this product, would I still use it? That's another huge question, I think, that needs to be answered before you decide to partner with a company. So we're going to look at why doTERRA makes such a smart decision and was such a good choice. So over there on the left, our industry standard is we are the most tested and most trusted oils on the market, and that's huge. We have a certified pure therapeutic grade standard of our essential oils, and it's becoming more and more apparent, and over the next few years, as people get educated on what this standard means and that it's the only ones the hospitals will accept. And as that continues to grow, it's going to be the standard that people look for and demand once they're educated and really know what essential oils are. The other amazing thing with doTERRA is our retention rate. This is record-breaking in the network marketing industry. Typical retention rate for companies is around 10 to 13%. What that means is after a year, 10 to 13% of the people who signed up are still ordering. That's the average. So say you signed up 100 people. For most companies after a year, 10 to 13 of those people would still be ordering. Our retention rate is 65%. So that means out of 100 people that you sign up after a year, 65% are still ordering. And that is just because the product is so good. That's the only reason, hands down. And that's really cool. That means that people order this consistently. And it also means that people order this who aren't doing the business. That's the other really unique thing about doTERRA. 80% of the people who are signed up don't do the business. They're just customers. And in a network marketing industry, that's very rare. Most of the times, the huge amount of the enrollments are business people. And so they're kind of in it for the opportunity, and the product is secondary. With doTERRA, the product has been and always will be first. And some of the people join it and take advantage of the business portion, but a lot of people just continue to use the product because it's that good. So that's something that's really important. So then you're going to look in the center there, and it shows doTERRA's growth, which is really impressive. So doTERRA hit the $1 billion mark as fast as Apple and Facebook. And so that, I mean, coming on the scene and really kind of just dominating it in 7 years when they don't do any marketing. There was no billboards, radio ads, TV commercials. It was just people sharing by word of mouth that spread this company that fast. And the reason it continued to spread like wildfire is because it worked, and people were so truly excited that they found something finally that was actually helping them get better, that they kept sharing and sharing and sharing and sharing. And that's how it grew so fast. So we're the largest essential oil company in the world. The other really unique and awesome thing, doTERRA is completely debt-free. So all the campus in Utah that is expanding rapidly, they can't keep building buildings fast enough to house the call center and everything because it's growing so quickly. But all of that is built debt-free. And they have no outside funding, which means they don't answer to anybody, which is how they're able to keep the purity and the quality of our product. They don't have investors saying, make it cheaper, make it faster. They don't have any of that. So that's why our purity and the standard of our product will remain as good as it is. And at the bottom there, it's showing our executive founders of doTERRA. And together, they're a diverse group, which is really cool. They bring a lot of different qualities to the table. And together, they have over 150 years of industry experience in this profession, in healthcare, in business, in marketing, and in wanting to do good in the world. So in that third column there, you're going to see just a snapshot, like a small amount of some of the projects that doTERRA is working on. So they've got their co-impact sourcing initiative, which means that this started as they started sourcing these oils, as they were going to these countries and meeting these people and teaching them how to harvest and utilize their land in the right way to get the best quality oil. They wanted to take care of them, and they wanted to make sure they were protected and paid fair, and also that their living conditions improved as our health was improving. And so they started this co-impact sourcing initiative where the growers are benefiting and their communities are benefiting just as much as, as doTERRA is growing. They're also giving back to those areas. They also have the Healing Hands Foundation, which has countless projects going on around the world. And that is different. Some of them are even led by wellness advocates, which is really cool. If that's something that, if you have something you're really passionate about, you can even approach doTERRA and they will work with you in things that are important. As long as you'll help and match the work with them, they will help you in some of these initiatives. So we've got projects like Days for Girls. If you guys have heard about that, you can Google that. And they have Operation Underground Railroad that they have partnered with heavily. That's working on sex trafficking that's happening around the earth. And so that's just a little bit of what doTERRA is doing in the world. Really, we could spend a whole hour on that. But it's nice to know that not only are we benefiting over here with these oils, but these people, these lovely people who are growing them in these countries, their life is also getting better through their partnership with doTERRA. And they love doTERRA. It's so neat. They, at convention every year for the past like 4 or 5 years, they've flown in one grower from a different country each time. And it's so neat. I mean, they're overwhelmed by the love that, the crowd is showing to them when they're just so grateful to be a part of doTERRA because their life's gotten better. They don't even know what's happening over here in the stories, but they get to hear it as they're walking the hallways at lunch. People will come up to them and share their stories. So it's really, really cool. We really are, I love how it says doTERRA is, a pipeline that touches so many lives, and it really is. So there are 3 steps to success, which are pretty simple as you see them broken down here. Number 1 is that we have to use the product. So that's the first step. If you're listening to this and you've been thinking about it and you're like, okay, like this all sounds good, how do I get started? Start using the products. Be a daily user of the product. That's how we gain our stories to be able to share with other people, and that's how we help give them confidence to give this a shot for whatever's going on in their life. So use them on yourself, your family, your parents. Just start utilizing them in different ways and really connect with a person who brought you to this call and is sharing this with you on different things that are going on in your life, things that you want to feel less of in your life and things that you want to feel more of in your life. And they can help make a list with you on steps that you should be taking every single day. And that's going to help start creating your lifestyle with the product, and you're going to start experiencing the benefits that everybody around you is going to be talking about. Then number 2 is sharing doTERRA with others. So there's 3 types of appointments that you need to learn and get under your belt. And you'll learn these as you're going through the process. The person who brought you in is going to model these appointments with you. They'll help you do them in the beginning and assist you as you start doing them on your own, and then you'll be off and running. And those 3 different appointments are an intro class, or Essential Oils 101, as it's called. So this is probably a class you've already been to if you're watching this. And that was where you were first introduced to doTERRA essential oils, what they do, how they work in the body, and then purchasing them so that you have them at home to work with. The next class that you will learn is called a lifestyle overview, or a membership overview, or a wellness consult. There's a few different names for it. But basically what it is after people get their oils in, we meet with them so that they continue to understand why they bought what they bought in the first place. We know it's a lot of information to take in, and that when the oils arrive, sometimes they can forget why they got them and what's in the boxes. So we meet with them and explain what it is that they bought, how it works, and then help them create a daily plan for themselves, a routine of what they're going to use morning, noon, and night every single day. And a lot of it is repetitive, so it's going to be steps that you learn, like lifelong vitality, Terrazyme. Those are things that everybody can benefit taking every day. Starting your day with balance on your feet, incorporating On Guard into your day. Those are going to be things that will just become second nature to you, and that's what we teach these people. And then we show them how to log in to their account so that when they're ready to order more in the future, they can. And the 3rd type of appointment is a business overview, which is what we're doing right now. And that is so that they can learn for themselves what doTERRA is like as a business, and then start picturing how that fits into their life. And if it's something that they want to start exploring, then we can do an actual business overview and go through the compensation plan in more detail. And then the last step is really just learning how to support your team. So that's people that are coming in and partnering with you and your community. And we have some really tremendous Facebook groups that really do the heavy lifting here and house all this information. So we've got one for customers where they can join in and learn about the oils and ask questions. And then we have one for builders where we post upcoming trainings and they can ask questions that are more business related. We've got that covered. And then number 3 is support your customers and your business partners. So this is a really brief snapshot of how you get paid in doTERRA. So these are just basics of the compensation plan. So in the beginning, where you're going to make the bulk of your money is going to be from fast starts. So that is you earning 20% off of what new customers sign up with. That check comes weekly, and that's the way that you're going to get kind of your money to start buying your tools, It will start helping to cover your monthly order as you're enrolling people and getting your team going. Then the long-term income that you build over time is the bonus that you get for the structure of your team. That's called Power of Three. It's also in the form of unilevel income. So that is when you're making a percentage off of what everybody underneath you is ordering. That's unilevel income. And then bonuses based off of different ranks. So the higher you get in the ranking system, there are different bonuses that are paid out to you monthly. And all three of those come into your long-term income, but you're always eligible to be making the fast start income, not just in the beginning. So that is something that you will continue to make forever. But that's like 1 or 2 times as you're first signing people up in the beginning, and then the long-term income is what you're making off of what people are ordering forever. So here's where you get to decide and kind of think about what it is that you want to create. And this is where I think this opportunity is so unique as well, in the fact that you can look at this today, and we're going to go through what the different options are and kind of pick out where you think you see yourself, but you're not stuck there. And the reason I know this is because when I first started, I just wanted to be in the very top box. I just wanted to pay for our product. But I learned the skills, I learned to teach the classes, and so I was like, well, I'm not stopping. So I was able to continue growing, even though that wasn't what I intended to do at first. So it's nice that there's no ceiling here ever. There's never a cap to what you can make. There is never a cap to how far you can go, even if you put a cap on yourself in the beginning. But if you change your mind, there's always that opportunity to grow. So that top box there, this is for somebody who's looking to pay for their product. So if you love doTERRA oils and you want to use them and you want to be able to get everything that you want and not have it come out of your family budget, that's what I was thinking when I started, then you can build to a point where you're getting your product paid for. And that is about 3 to 5 hours a week. And that is looking at around the ranks of elite to premier. Those are the ranks that you should be getting your product paid for at that point. If you're looking to supplement your income and bring in money to help cover the car payment, maybe cover some of the mortgage, cover your kids being in different sports or music lessons, that is going to be around the rank of silver to gold. And that's going to be about 10 to 15 hours a week. So kind of a part-time job, but you're making income. So we would expect that you've got to put in about part-time hours to be making $2,000 to $3,000 a month. That makes sense. And you can do that you can move as quick as you want, but typically you're going to be looking to do that in about 2 years or so. Then the bottom one there is replacing your income. And this is where you can actually take, what you're making right now and grow past that number, or you can replace what you're making right now. Really the option, the sky's the limit. You can go as far as you want. But if you're looking to get there, then you're working at like a full-time job. So you're looking at 15 to 30 hours a week. And that's going to be with your goal of getting to the rank of diamond. That's going to be really replacing your income and even adding to your income and multiplying it. So in doing these, some of the things that you can be thinking about that are goals that come along with it is it brings about financial freedom to your life, where you are able to do things that you weren't able to do before. You're able to go places that you couldn't go before because you couldn't get that much time off work, or you couldn't ever get time off at this time of year because that's when everybody else wanted to go on vacation. You won't have that as a ceiling for you anymore. You can create a generous savings account for yourself so that you're not in that boat of what we were looking at earlier, where you don't have enough saved when it comes time that you need to tap into that. Time freedom, building your dreams instead of somebody else's, getting to spend more time with your family, traveling more. You get to open up a lot in the traveling world when you do this as a business, not only because your growing team in all these different areas and these different states and different countries even. But as you travel, say, you know, part of it's vacation and part of it's for work, a portion of it is a write-off. So that is a really cool thing as well. You're going to get to travel to places that you've never been to before. If you enroll family, you know, your family back in Italy, and you go to visit them, you get to write off a portion of that and meet more of your family. It creates a lot of connections. That's why they call it network marketing, because your network of people that you have is going to grow and grow and grow. And you can also be saving for your retirement, which is something that is inevitable and something that we need to be thinking about. So this is an income potential snapshot that you guys can take a look at. I like this one because it gives you the ranks on the left and then the approximate weekly time that you have to invest in order to reach that rank and the average time that it takes to reach that rank. And then it also has the average monthly income, but that number is when you are consistently hitting a rank. So it's not necessarily the very first time you hit the rank. But once you're hitting it consistently, that's the average that you can expect to make. And then on the right side, it has the expected income when it's the first time you reach a rank. The reason for this is the first time you reach a rank, you're building. You've definitely got momentum going. That's how you reach the next rank. And now it's not just you doing the work. It goes back to that piece where it says you're earning a percentage off of what everybody's doing. So if you're hitting these bigger ranks, that means you have people under you who are working as well. So you're growing exponentially at this point. It's not just your efforts. You're growing off of everybody's efforts. So what you make the first time you hit a rank and what you're going to be making 4 or 5 months down the road is going to keep growing because you've got more people, more volume, and that's how these numbers change. So these are facts about building a business, any business. But it's good to go over because this truly is a business. This is not a hobby. This is what we do for our jobs. So number one, it takes time. This is not magic beans. This is not get rich quick. We call it get rich slow for a reason. It's not an overnight success. It takes commitment and it definitely takes consistency. But you're gonna have support along the way, all along the way, from so many people on our team, not only from the person who enrolled you, but the person who's above them and above them. And not just the people above you, it's also the people beside you. We have a really awesome team and we love working together. And so you're gonna have support all around you. As you are starting this and you're getting sent trainings, if the person who signed you up is sending you trainings to watch, because we've got to the point now where we have a lot of this stuff recorded, which is so nice because it frees us up from saying the same thing over and over and over again. But it also allows you to watch it at a time that's good for you. That could be in the morning before the kids get up, or it could be late at night when everybody's asleep and the house is finally quiet. So you're gonna have access to these trainings that you can watch when it's convenient for you. But think of it as a business training. Again, like this is like if you were at work and you were getting trained on the job, it's the exact same thing. It's just you're doing it at home and you're doing it from a video. But it's the exact, this is your business training. Another thing to keep in mind is we can pretty much guarantee you are gonna have people who don't understand what you're doing. And we've all had that. It's gonna be your parents. For me, it's my brother. He still tells my husband not, shouldn't have quit your day job. And we're like, okay, dude. So you are going to have people in your life who don't understand what you're doing. He's coming around now, though, actually. He did congratulate me the last time that we were down there. So I think he thinks what I'm doing is actually a good thing now. But you will have people, and it's going to be people who are very close to you, could be close friends, who aren't going to understand what you're doing. And something to keep in mind that I always think is such great advice is if you would not trade places with the person who's offering you their feedback and their advice, then don't listen to it. Because a lot of the times the people who are trying to tell us we can't do it and it's not for us, live a life that we don't want. So why are we listening to them and letting them stop us from what we want to do when we wouldn't want to be in their shoes? So don't really need to follow their advice. You are going to have to push through obstacles. This is a growth business, 100%. So there are going to be obstacles that you're going to grow and learn to push through. And because of that, you are going to grow personally and professionally, I guarantee you. That's part of the bonus of doing this. They call network marketing personal development with a compensation plan. And there's no truer statement. That is what this is. We grow personally every single day. That's how we get to new levels. But it's a ton of fun. You're going to create some amazing relationships with people that you meet. You're going to have people become a part of your life who you never would have met if you weren't doing this as a business. And I know that because we now have so many people in our life, even people who lived around us in our old town, maybe literally less than 2 minutes away, that I never would have met if we weren't doing doTERRA. And because somebody was a friend of a friend and brought them in and we got to know them, they've become some of our closest friends. And we have a really great community of like-minded people. That's something else that you'll notice that doTERRA kind of attracts, is people who are looking to make their health better, but they're also looking to make their life better. And so you're going to find that we have a lot in common with these people, and we can talk about different topics about health and wellness that aren't even just oils. We can talk about other things as well. So this is just kind of funny because as a doTERRA wellness advocate, we've got what people who don't know me think I do. You know, they think we're a witch. And then we have what the FDA thinks that we do, so we're doctors prescribing cures. And then we have what our friends think we do, which I think my friends totally think this is me, like complete tree hugger. And then at the bottom, what your family thinks you do, that we're hippies. And then what we think we do, we're superheroes, right? We bring solutions to people who are in need, but then what we're actually doing. And this is a picture of Emily Wright with one of the children that she met on one of her trips. I think it was in Haiti when they were sourcing the vetiver, and creating relationships and lasting impact around the world and helping people all over at the same time. So that's what we're actually doing. And it's really amazing. So this is the investment breakdown of what it takes to get started. Getting started with the product, investing in a kit. They've got all different price options, but at least having the top 10 oils to start working with so that you can start getting your own stories to share with people. You'll have your own experience, your own testimonials, and the time. There's gonna be building foundations to go through, online trainings that you're gonna be going through so that you can learn how to teach these different classes, how to properly invite somebody to a class, how to follow up with them, all those different things. And then depending on the speed that you want to grow is going to determine how many hours you invest. So this is a part where you really are in control of this. Some people are fine, you know, slow and steady wins the race. They're fine just kind of going slow and going through. And other people are in more of a time crunch, like they have a need, maybe a deadline on something where they need to move faster, and they can. They're just going to pour on the speed and do more learning and teach more classes and talk to more people and put more hours in, and they're going to get to the goal faster. The monthly investment is 100 PV. That's about $125 out the door. And that is what is required in order to be eligible for commissions, making the money off of the people that you sign up, and the bonuses. That is the one requirement there. So with the time investment and training, this is something that you can expect to be doing, is learning how to invite, present, and close those 3 different kinds of appointments that we talked about. The intro class, the membership overview or lifestyle overview, however you want to call it, and the business overview. Those 3. Getting confident with the top 10 oils and beyond. So learning the top 10 and the emotional oils and the supplements that we have, I think that would be a really good place to start. And then connecting with others, doing the business through training calls that we have, through webinars that are available to you, and then set a goal and launch yourself. That's the best way to get started, is to really have a plan and launch yourself, kind of like a rocket taking off. You want to create some momentum in the beginning. That's going to help you get traction. So these are the steps to launch. Number one is to become a wellness advocate. So if you're currently a customer, it's a really easy way. You just click on a button and upgrade to set yourself up as a wellness advocate. That means you're eligible to earn commissions. Two is to join the Facebook page that your upline has set up for builders. You're probably on the customer one already, but now you've graduated and you're going to be joining the one that's for builders. And then go through the launch series that the person who invited you to this video is working with. We have a lot of different ways to get to the same end goal. There's a lot of different systems in doTERRA. And so your leader is going to have picked the one that they like to work with. So they're going to get you set up on that course so that you can start learning the different class styles that you need to teach. And then scheduling your first 4 classes. This part's really important because this helps you gather enough people that you can start sifting through to create your best team. And that is what the person who invited you to this video is going to help you do, is be really strategic in placement of these people. So get your calendar out and set up the different days that you have available for your classes. This is just a sample calendar, but the person who invited you to this is really going to sit down with you, look at your calendar, and map out the 2 weeks. Doing 4 classes in a 2-week period is the best way to do it for placement reasons. And they'll explain more of that to you, but just kind of pick aside your 2-week launch week and then schedule your 4 classes. And ideally, you want to have them at different times. That way, different schedules can fit there. So you want to have possibly a weekday morning for parents whose little ones are in school, and that's a good time for them. A weekday evening, and a weekend morning, and a weekend evening. That kind of fits all different schedules so that as you're inviting your people to the classes, one of those 4 options will work. And that's the way to really launch yourself successfully. So this is something that one of the founding wellness advocates in doTERRA said, and it makes so much sense. She said, treat this like a hobby and you'll get paid like a hobby. But if you treat it like a business, you'll get paid like a business. So we just say that kind of wrapping up so that as you're making plans to do this, we want you to reach your goals. And if your goals are big, then that's going to mean that this is a new business and then it needs to be treated like a business in order for you to get there. So this is something that I put together just because I think visuals are so important. And the question on top there is, what is your dream, first of all? And so write that down if you don't mind. And then when you're done watching this, kind of go back and think about it for yourself and for your family. What are your dreams? Where are the places that you want to go? What are the things that you want to do? And then think about, what if you could do it sooner than you ever imagined? And the reason I say that is because for us, with our experience, we moved to North Idaho 2 years ago. And my husband wanted to come up here, my younger son wanted to be up here, my in-laws live here. And my husband's wanted to come up here for years, probably ever since we got married, but my husband worked for the studios, and we're in a very small town, and there's no studio work up here. So this is something that we looked at for retirement. So we're talking a good 30 years from now as being a possibility of something that we could do. Well, because of doTERRA, we were able to do it much sooner. So we're up here at a younger age, which is going to make this easier as we build a house and develop the land. And so I want you to think about those things that you have on your wish list, and not only figure out what those are, because maybe you haven't thought about it in a while, but what if you could do it 10 years sooner or 20 years sooner than you imagined? And think of being able to be in those situations as your younger, more youthful self is going to be a lot more fun than what typically happens is by the time people can finally retire and have time to do something, now they don't have the health to do the things that they want. And so that's a nice piece of building this business and really investing. You know, you can invest a good 3 to 5 years doing this and create something that opens up doors for the rest of your life. And yes, we work hard, and yes, you're going to sacrifice some stuff, and there's going to be things here and there that you can't do because you have a class scheduled or you're meeting with somebody. But the doors you're opening down the road are things that would not even be a possibility if you didn't do this. So just keep that in mind and really get that list and that visual in front of you. Even create a vision board if that's something that you haven't done before, and cut out pictures and places and put them on there as a reminder of what you're building towards. And so some of the things on here could be a new truck. We had one of the builders on our team actually up here. She was able to buy her husband a brand new truck with her paycheck. Her paycheck was covering the payments. So that was a fun thing. Some people want to put their kids in something like horseback riding and let them have that experience, but it's expensive and that money's not in the family budget. But you can build yourself an income with doTERRA that can pay for that, so it's not coming out of your budget. Maybe your dream is to go on a vacation to a place that looks like this, or move to a place that looks like this down the road. That can be an option for you as well. I know a couple of the girls on our team who have Harleys on their vision boards for their husbands. That's one of their goals, is to be able to get them a Harley. And then like your bucket list things, you know, swimming with dolphins, which we actually did this year in New Zealand. It was so cool. Those things that were on your bucket list or on your vision board can actually become a reality if you take the time and put in the effort to do the work now. You're going to be able to do these things. Maybe even music lessons for your kids. And my probably favorite picture is in the center, and that is a house cleaner. That is the best and happiest investment we ever made, is having somebody come on a regular basis and take that off my plate. It is worth everything. I love it. It's the best day ever when she comes, is what we call it. So that is something for a lot of people, that just taking that stress off your plate of having a clean home and not having to do it yourself, that money can come from your doTERRA money. It doesn't have to come from your budget at home. So I had this picture here. This is my dad, and he sent me this picture. This is probably about 1.5 years ago now. And I was shocked, honestly, that he was doing this, because he is normally a little more conservative than this. But my grandma passed away about 2 years ago, and I saw a shift in him after that happened. And he started doing things that like he'd probably been putting off and, you know, waiting for. All of a sudden he started doing the things that he wanted to do. And it meant so much to me, because they have the finances to be able to do it. And so now he's able to start doing things while he's still in good enough health to do it. And so I just say this because this will, if you build this business, you're going to have this nest egg that is growing, that's going to afford you the ability to do new things that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And so just think about that as you're contemplating doing this as a business, and what are the things that you could do that maybe were never an option that you thought were possible. So this saying here is so true. And time is going to pass. It is going to pass regardless if you do this or if you don't do this. But you can either look back in 5 years and say, I'm so glad I did this, poolside with a pina colada in your hand in the place of your dreams. Or 5 years can pass by and you can be exactly in the same place you are now. And you're going to say, I wish I had done that. And my friends did that, and now I'm looking at them and what they're able to do. I have people in my life who are doing that now, some really close friends, and they say that now when I see them, like, gosh, why didn't we do this with you? And I'm like, I don't know, why didn't you do this with me? I asked you dozens of times. But that time right now is for you. This is happening for you right now. So decide, are you going to be the person that says, I'm so glad I did this 5 years from now? Or are you going to look back 5 years from now as doTERRA's got their health clinics opening? I mean, that the U.S., you know, across the U.S., and you're going to see the opportunities that are there and wish you would have done it. That is such a worse place to be. So you get that decision. You get to decide that on your own. And small decisions create really big results. And this is one of those small decisions. This is where you decide, you make that shift of, okay, I was thinking about this, I'm gonna learn it, I'm gonna learn the steps and start implementing it. And this little shift could complete ordering and our first kit and then deciding to host our first class were small decisions. But what it's done for our family, and we're in a completely different place than we would have been if we didn't make those small decisions. So that's the opportunity that's in front of you right now. And we're just going to wrap up with this. It's by Art Jonak, and it makes so much sense because it's something to wrap your mind around for a minute. It's amazing how people think that 4 years is a long time to succeed in business. And he says that because you are going to pour in a good, we said 3 to 5 years, so 4 is in the middle. You're going to be pouring in a good 4 years, and you're going to have people saying, why are you working so hard? And oh my gosh, that's, taking so much time. Well, it's amazing how people think 4 years is a long time to succeed in your business, but those same people are perfectly okay staying broke at a job for 40 years. And we see that with so many people. They are in a job their whole life. They pretty much just make their wage with a little bit of cost of living increase every year. And that's it until they retire. And then hopefully Social Security works out for them if it's around by the time we retire, So just think about that, because it is an investment of time, but what you can build with it is something that's very unique. And it's an opportunity that has been brought to you for a reason. And hopefully, if you have questions about this, feel free to reach out to any of us, and we're happy to go over this with you. But I really hope that it's something you consider for yourself and for your family, because it's done amazing things for ours. And it's something that we do wish for everybody. And so we hope that this is something you just, all right.